work as an audit manager for publicly traded real estate companies, work as an audit manager or a fund accountant for a large real estate private equity firm, I can totally help you out. Okay, I can totally help you out. But you're going to have to stop being a student and start becoming a professional. How many people are sophomores? Sophomores, juniors, okay, we can save you. How many people are seniors? Okay, it's go time, right? It's go time. No more farting around. How many of you have resumes? Got it. How many people have had their resumes gone through by a professional such as myself, or do you go through the Career Center? You haven't done my professionals? Yeah, no, you have a great resume. How many people have just gone through the Career Center to have their resumes done? Okay, where did all of you other guys get your do your resumes? Did you do them on your own? Oh, okay. I need to see those as soon as possible too. Okay. So not only do I teach this class, but I'm also a career advisor. Okay. I'll totally help you out. All right. I'll work with you. I'll coach you. I'll set you up with some leads for some jobs if you communicate with me. You can call me, text me. If you email me, I can't promise you I will get back to you very soon. But if you call me or text me, I will get right back to you. Okay? So I'm always here to help you out. Did you want a cookie? Okay, did you want a cookie?
No, okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Did anybody buy the book? Because the book, I'm not a big fan of. I just got the book because I needed some time to figure out the book. There's not a lot of books out there, except for like appraisal books, that are out there. There's no really good books out there. I found about 5 books. So we're going to use like 5 books. Okay, but you're not going to pay for all 5. You're only going to pay for 2. Okay. And what we'll do with the other 2 books, and I'll even show you, might as well just go through it right now. So these are the books that I came up with. And they're all the syllabus, right on the first page. So this book, this is the first one you're going to do. But what you're going to do is I'm going to pass it around after you get into groups. Have you already gotten into your groups of 3? Groups of 3? No? You want to do it right now? Okay, go ahead. Get into your groups of 3. And then exchange the information too. I'll give you like 5 minutes. Just right now, I'll get into the books and stuff like that. But it's really important that you get into the terms. You can't not be in a group because hey, did you guys already get in a group? You get in a group? You already get in a group? I'm going to get another class because I can't write long. I see in 3D. Yeah, I see in 3-dimensional space. So this is not. Oh, and who's going to drop the class? Because this blows up everything. So is anybody thinking that they're not going to take this class? What I'll do is at some point, I'll do a little lecture and stuff, and then I'll take a 5 or 10 minute break, and for those who want to drop the class can leave, and then we'll reform the groups. Because last time I did this, people wrote up the teams, wrote up their names, and they never came back and messed up the whole thing. Okay, so if you're thinking about dropping the class, I wouldn't worry about it if you got them left right now. It wouldn't be a big deal, but I'll give you a little time to make that decision, because we need to form the groups as quickly as possible to get started. So is everybody entertained? Our team project's fun. They're fun when you have great people on your team. When you have people that aren't great on your team and don't do anything, that really sucks. And you think that's going to be the case when you get out in the road? Yeah, there'll probably be some people that suck, and they'll probably be the daughter or the son of the boss or something. You'll have to carry them. Nobody ever thought about it. I counted 27 people that signed up for the class. It came out to be 98. I hope we get 27 people. Work that. Do you normally have whiteboards in your classes?
I love the class.
Really? We're not going to be in, so I'll let you know.
Oh yeah, so good.
This is so. Very good. Okay, go ahead. You guys can come up and put your names up, be assigned to the team. This is called active learning, where basically you guys participate in the academics of the class. I'm not doing everything. I'm not going to get up here and lecture for 2-3 hours. I'm not going to do it. Those days are dead. Those days are over. Yeah. And is he the team lead, or are you going to be the team lead?
I don't even know.
Well, somebody's got to be a leader, or else nothing's going to get done. Like, somebody's got to be a backup. All right. Any teams of 2? Any teams of 2? You got 2? Okay, you're in their group. You're over there. We need to exchange the information. And you guys didn't do it in sequence, right? So now I gotta rewrite it. Okay. Everybody get a syllabus, everybody get the statistical pretest. So do you guys Cynthia? So you only have 2?
Yeah.
Somebody by show. Somebody by show.
Are you
In front of the E, or after the E.
After 4 That was a test, wasn't it?
There's a lot of exceptions though to the rule.
We got some pretty good. That's perfect. Okay, so we got a pretty good class. All right. Anybody have team phobia? You just can't work in a team? It's like I refuse to work in a team. Attitude. Yeah, you're like a nice class. Okay, so here's the deal. So what I did on the syllabus, these are the 2 books, and don't turn the end. But these are the two books we're gonna poach, okay? So what we're gonna do is I've already assigned the chapters, okay, to these two books actually I did all four of them. We'll start with these two tonight. So what you're gonna do is you're going to look at the syllabus, look at your team, okay, and then it's gonna tell you what book you're gonna do the chapter presentation on, okay? And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a picture of the chapter, and then you're gonna work together and you're gonna put together a PowerPoint presentation. Have you ever put together a PowerPoint presentation? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Is it important to do those?
Yes.
Excel, PowerPoint, be able to write, business quality stuff, yeah, that's what they're doing. So, if you keep going, if you look on the syllabus on page 9, it gives you the chapter, it gives you the book, or actually it's on sheet 8, because it's double-sided. Actually, is there one on the other side? Here's that.
No, that's it.
Okay, that's it. Okay, perfect. So on page 8, it tells you the book, and then it tells you the chapter, and then it tells you the team, and then you or one of your team members takes pictures of the chapters.
I got a question.
And then you're gonna present the chapter. Yes.
Is the first chapter the essence of analysis?
Yes.
All right.
I know this one.
Yeah, that one.
Real estate market valuation analysis. Yeah,
Is
that-
the
yeah,
first,
so this is the first one. This one goes next.
no, I'm
This
saying,
one goes forward, and then this one goes last, okay? So you're gonna be presenting from all three of these books. And I'm gonna be presenting from these two books, okay? So these are my responsibility, although I already downloaded the PowerPoint presentation for this one, and I downloaded the Excel for this one, and I downloaded the Excels from this one. This book has no Excel, so I'm not gonna get you into Excel right off the bat, but then like the last part of the class is called for Excel, okay? So you're gonna be working in Excel. And then you're gonna come in to class and you're gonna walk us through the Excel presentations, okay? That's why you're gonna bring the computer, all right? And you're gonna walk us through it. And then this book has no Excel either. This one has no PowerPoints, this one has no PowerPoints, no Excel, okay? So we're just gonna warm up with these two books and do team presentations. You're gonna come in and probably have 4 teams that'll present per night. You figure, what, 20 minutes each, which is the average attention span for a normal individual. Yeah, it's like 2 to 3 minutes, so you're gonna have to be pretty entertaining to do at least a 20-minute, maybe 15, 20 slide, I don't care how many, just put together a good presentation and you guys do a good job doing the presentation. And the people who aren't presenting, you'll take notes, okay? And then you'll forward to me the PowerPoint presentations, and we'll upload them, and then you'll have a nice piece, right? A piece, PowerPoint, that then you can show a potential employer, and if you're smart, you probably bind them together like this, right? Do you know anything about real estate? Yes. Do you know how to do PowerPoint presentations? Yes. Okay, that kind of stuff. So does everybody understand? So you got your teams, you got your chapters, you take pictures of the chapters, and you're going to work together, put together a PowerPoint presentation, come and do the presentation. So you're going to present, and I'm going to present. Okay? I'll present my stuff, I'll do some stuff from these two books, and I'll do some of my own stuff. And then you guys will do the book stuff. So you'll be exposed to 4 books instead of 1 book. Okay? Because I couldn't find one book that really did everything. I figured this one's the simplest, so let's just start with that. And this one's totally technical, which I'm not even sure why they're charging like $119 for this, which is ridiculous. And basically, you can buy this for the same amount, right? So I don't know what she's got going, but she's got the gig going. Okay, she's making some money with it. And then these two, I've already downloaded the PowerPoint presentations on the website and the Excel files on there. So you already got the PowerPoints and you already got the Excels. So when you get together, you go through the stuff, you have any questions, you ask me, you come in, you present it. All right, is that cool? Okay, because I can get away with not having Excel in my other classes, but this is evaluation course. This is really one of the most important courses next to the real estate finance and investments course. But but this wasn't called real estate finance and investments. This was called real estate valuation, so I had to do the valuations. It's basically related to each other. How many people are finance majors? Got it, okay. And then your seniors, okay. How many people are accounting? Okay. How many people are economics? Okay. How many people are marketing? Got it. How many people are management? Okay. Don't you have like entrepreneurship here? Digital media, entrepreneurship, digital media. Didn't you take, what was the course here? What was your intro finance course? Anybody else outside of business school? I talked really fast. Where are you guys from?
Construction management.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so you guys worked with budget before and stuff like that? Pro formas?
We did a pro forma statement in real estate finance.
Awesome, perfect. And then what's the first finance course?
It's called Finance 30.
Finance 30, so that's your financial management or principles of finance. And then you took financial accounting and managerial accounting in your core. Yeah, so you worked with income statements and balance sheets. And so does everybody understand what a pro forma is? Pro forma, it's an income statement around real estate. And then what you do is you project out maybe 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years. And then basically you forecast the cash flows, either net operating income or after cash flow, after you take out the mortgage payment from the net operating income, you get the cash, or what's called cash on cash, which goes to the equity holders. If you do a discounted cash flow on the net operating income, you can get a present value. Present value. If you don't know what present value is, you won't bother your class. Okay, net present value.
Yeah.
Yep. Internal rate of return.
Yeah.
Yep. If the net present value is positive, you accept or reject the project.
Except.
You accept it. Excellent. And if you have a negative net present value, do you accept or reject it? Reject it. But what if you really want the project? What if you really want the project and you get a negative MPV? If you get a negative MPV and you really want that piece of real estate, what do you do? What do you do? What? No. What do you do?
Go out in the future.
To do that, but this one's easy.
Negotiate
Exactly, in what amount? You ask for a price reduction in what amount?
the difference that
It's called
less
the-
than
It's called the, I just said it, the negative net present value. Got it. So if I want the project, I get a negative MPV, and I really want the project, I go back and I ask for a price reduction in the amount of the negative MPV. Okay, we're gonna memorize that stuff. Okay, that's the stuff I'll be teaching you. Okay, so just boom, boom, boom. Because when you're sitting in a room, how many people want to go work in a real estate private equity firm? How many people want to go work in a real estate investment trust, a large corporate, publicly traded real estate company, so that when you go work for them, not only do you get bonuses and a salary, but you get stock grants and stock options in the company. Absolutely, everybody should have their hand up. I mean, hundreds of thousands of dollars doing that, going to work for publicly traded companies. How many people want to become an investment broker? Right there, okay, excellent. How many people want to go into leasing? Leasing, yeah, we do leasing analysis, we do present values all the time. How many people want to go work for a real estate private equity firm, family office, a bunch of rich people that own a bunch of real estate? Excellent, nice, excellent. They all should be yes. Right. How many people want to go on and become an investment banker, negotiating and basically underwriting debt and equity securities on behalf of the real estate investment trust?
Trying to do all that.
Huh?
Trying to do all that.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the stuff that you need to know. How many people want to go on and become a mortgage banker or a mortgage broker? Yeah, exactly. Working for a bank or for a private mortgage company, underwriting real estate transactions and trying to assess the borrower, and assess the collateral, which is actually the piece of real estate. You're going to have to run the present value analysis, on the cash flows to be able to see if the property is actually loanable, if you can actually even loan it, if there's coverage, if there's enough net operating income to cover the mortgage payment. If there's not enough cash to cover the mortgage payment, what happens? you don't get the mortgage, and if you can't meet the mortgage payment, they're gonna foreclose on you because you defaulted on the loan, and the bank's gonna take your property, okay? So this stuff is used in all of that stuff, okay? All of it. And you're gonna use it in finance. A lot of the finance people now are all going into real estate. The real estate people are now in finance. We all married each other like 15 years ago, 20 years ago. The real estate people and the finance people married each other. And it wasn't a great marriage. The finance people talk one language and the real estate people talk the other. Now they talk each other's language. Now they're bonding. Okay. So you want to go into securities, you can move over to real estate. You want to go into real estate, you want to go over to finance, you can move over there too. If you know both, then you can get into banking, real estate, and in corporate finance. You don't do just corporate finance, just go banking, you're going to go, what is it, personal business loans or something, but if you're doing mortgage, right, you can go into mortgage, you can go into investments, you can go into sales, you can go into acquisitions analyst or an acquisitions director overseeing all the acquisitions, the real estate that comes through, you know, the company. I mean, that's what I would want to do. And shit, I made a mistake, you know, I went into research. You know, all of you guys are going to make millions. I'll be lucky if I make millions. But no, I'm serious. Okay, so if you take this class totally seriously, you're going to have the tools where you're going to be able to get a job really easily. Because they're dying for people like you that know this stuff. Okay? They're dying to hire you. Okay? With a little coaching on my side, and a little help and some references, and review your resume and coach you before you go into the interview, you'll get the interview. I actually coached my wife. She doesn't even like real estate. She doesn't even like finance. And she was Larry, you know, I'm getting this job at this company called Shorenstein, you know, in San Francisco. Is anybody familiar with Shorenstein? If you got your computer, you should look them up. They're probably one of the largest private equity real estate companies on the West Coast. So she's going to this real estate company. She never worked in real estate in her life. She's going for a project management position in their IT department. She doesn't know nothing about real estate. Do you think you could like sit down with me for no more than 40 minutes, right? No more than 40 minutes, and can you walk me through what I'm going to need to know to basically walk into the interview so that I'm prepared? I spent 40 minutes with her, a little Q&A for 20, she went in, she got the job, okay? Somebody who knew nothing about real estate. Okay. So, again, you stick with me, I will totally help you out. Because my success is your success. And you're my human equity. I invest my time, my effort, I could be doing other stuff. I'm coming in, I'm teaching you all the stuff that I know, I'm investing my time and my equity into you, and my return on equity is you go off and you get a good job and you become successful in your career. And you call me up like in 20 years and go, you were right, Professor Souza. I did everything you said, except for some of the stuff. Okay, so if you could look at your teams, look at the books, okay, and then take pictures of these two. Okay. Oh, it's not on? Did I turn it on? Yeah. Okay. And what I would do is if you have an issue, because a lot of my students have issues, okay, with budget. Okay, because I know you're all strapped, you're not, you're at home, like I did until I was 35. You know, I couldn't get a good enough job, I had to get married, and stuff like that. So like, buying these books, even though I think these are about like 50 or 60 bucks each, which isn't too much, and you might be able to get these on Amazon. But what I would do is don't buy the books. You know, buy the books and use them in your teams. So you share them. So if this thing's 60 bucks, it's 20 bucks a pop. And I already posted the Excel spreadsheet. All right? Get it? Leverage? Got it. So if you want, you can take these two, take the pictures if you want, and you could absolutely designate to buy the books. I don't care, just as long as you have them. You can buy them, or you take pictures of them. I don't care. Okay? Just don't tell them.
This semester?
You want me to pass this around too?
Oh, yeah, you don't have to.
All right. Did you get your, are you in a group? Yeah. I got something for you. Yeah, she's right there. Can you write your name up here, or what's your name? What's your name? Ann, with an E? No, just A-N-N? Okay. Anybody else not in the team? Yes, sir. Anybody with teams of two? Two? How many people are in the class? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 in this new person. Any other team, just two? Yeah? No? Okay. Anybody gonna drop the class? Okay, we'll take a break in a minute, and then you can sneak out if you want to. And then if somebody sneaks out, then you can join them. Let me hold you in my back pocket. Okay. All right, so let's do this. Anybody working in real estate right now? Anybody working in real estate right now?
I don't,
Did you retire?
no, I work at Bank of America.
Oh, you do? Okay, cool. Are you in the mortgage group now?
No, I'm still, an RN.
Okay, okay, cool. Anybody else working in real estate? No? Okay. How many people are working?
Just quit.
Did you? Okay. How many people are working in a corporate job? Corporate? Okay. How many people want to go work in a corporation? Large company? Yes, everybody should. Huh? Or go work for, how many people want to become real estate agents? Non-residential, commercial, maybe, yeah, apartments. Yeah, okay, excellent. And then what about property management? Property management, great position, great career. Property management, running the property, doing the budgets, working with the asset manager who's overseeing multiple properties and multiple property managers. Then there's the portfolio manager that's overseeing the asset managers, that's overseeing the property managers, and then usually those portfolio managers go on to become the CEO, COO of the company. Okay. And some of the CFOs try to become CEOs, although they usually don't have the behavioral characteristics or the behavior to make that transition from finance over into CEO. Maybe you guys can do it. You gotta be pretty charismatic.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go through the syllabus. Anybody have any questions so far? Okay, so there are the books. I included the, again, this is already posted on the website, the course website, so you may want to, if you have your computer, I'm not going to go up there right now. So the links are already there. So if you wanted to buy the book, the books, they're available there. I have the used versions, but don't buy the used versions. And then I'm going to do the Linneman book, don't tell Peter that. And then I'm going to do the Bergman and Fisher book. Okay. Although I would download all of the Excel files that I gave you and put them into an archive. Okay, because they could come back very, very valuable and very valuable for individuals. If you ever get hired someplace, you walk in with basically a bunch of templates. You'll probably have them modify their templates, but if you have a bunch of templates on your own, it's pretty cool.
I need to hear that. I can hear the important information over here. You said, so the two books was Linneman?
Yeah, I'm going to do Linneman, and I'm going to do Bergman and Fisher, but I've already, Bergman and Fisher has the PowerPoints are there,
Yeah.
and there's only one Excel. Okay, Linneman, I'm going to go up to the website, I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to come in and teach you stuff from there, but I gave you all the Excel spreadsheets from him too, but just don't tell him. Okay. And then the Steiger book, who's got the Steiger book? Can you hold that up? The Steiger book? Yeah, that one, I already, I got the PowerPoints and I got the Excel spreadsheets for that one too. Already up there on the website. Okay. And then the Flexibility and Real Estate Valuation Geltner's book. I already put the PowerPoints and the Excel spreadsheets from Geltner's book up there today. Okay. So that's what you're studying from, that's what you're looking at. I already provided you with the content, you just got to learn it and then present it. Okay? And if you're really good in high-performance teams, you've been able to create high-performance teams where you're all working together. It shouldn't take that long to be able to go through that stuff, put a PowerPoint together, come in and freaking nail it. Okay? If you have any questions before that, I'll help you too. Okay? Did I answer your question? Are you scratching your head or do you have a question? Okay, good, then we're not. Did you have another question?
No.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
What about different editions of the book?
No, I already just used those.
Okay,
Just, I already got them for you.
alright,
They're already there. Okay, don't deviate from the program.
alright.
So which book is necessary for us to get, did you say?
I'm just saying that if you're gonna buy the book, I would buy Steiger and Geltner, okay? But if you wanna take pictures of Steiger and Geltner, I'm already passing them around. Right? Or what I said is get one book and split it, which is like $20, right? The total cost will be $30 each, and then you share it. Right? Leverage. I think it's stupid to just, say, okay, here, buy Reuben and Fisher, and that's all we're gonna use, and then you're gonna pay like $260, for Reuben and Fisher. What I'm trying to do is like lower the cost to $30. Or nothing. Maybe somebody in your team is willing to support this box. Okay? All right. So that's that. Then you're gonna need any questions on that? Is everybody confused totally, or, because I will move on if everybody's saying that it's okay. If you don't say anything and I move on, then don't complain to me that you don't understand because you were too scared to ask a question because I was way too intimidating and I talked too fast and too loud. Okay, so do you have any questions? Do you understand what we're doing? Awesome. And then the calculator, you're going to need a calculator. The HP12C, this one is really simple. This is granddaddy of calculators. I've bought like 50 of these things over the last 25 years of my career because I leave them on people's desks and I leave them around all over the place because I'm all excited doing stuff. And we used to always put our cards on the back and go around to people's desks and pick them up and look at them and see if we could find our calculators because somebody else probably picked it up. So this is a good one. It's really easy to calculate the NPV, IRR, and the PV calculations on this thing. So it's kind of a reverse pull calculator. And then the other one that's really good, it's not very expensive, I think it's like $40, is the Texas Instrument BA2 Plus. This one is like $40. It's cheap. It's like the standard, right? Look, I already got like 5 of these things because they're so freaking cheap, and I got students that show up to the exams, and it's like, Professor Susan, I don't have a calculator. It's like, well, dude, you got to bring a calculator to every class because it's a freaking math class. So what are you doing, math in your head? And if you are, you should be in engineering, not finance. Okay, the other one is the HP10B2. This one's a little bit more complicated. It's not as straightforward as the HP12C or the Texas Instrument B2 Plus. So you have a couple choices on what you want to use. I recommend either the 12C, which is still pretty expensive after 30 years. This has been around. And this one's the Texas Instrument. Okay. And what I'll do on the exams is it'll be fairly simple. I'm thinking about, since you've been spending most of your time working through the Excel and putting together PowerPoint presentations, those will basically be the equivalent to homework. It basically is homework. And then also the nights of like a quiz and the midterm, and we're not going to have a final. We won't have a final. We'll just have a final presentation to show you what it looks like. And I'll bring pie. I'll bring like, what is it, December? Well, for right around the what is it, the midterm? What is that, November, October? So I'll bring pumpkin pie for that. And then for December, it's Christmas. It's usually like cheesecake or something like that. So I'll bring the cheesecake. Huh?
It's eggnog.
Eggnog, whatever. If you want eggnog, cheesecake, I'll bring that.
Fried chicken.
Or
Fried chicken.
Fried chicken?
You bring fried chicken.
I'll bring the fried chicken. Seriously. I'll do
I'm
that.
serious too.
I love fried chicken. Crazy about chicken cheesecake. Oh, God.
Sushi roll over
No, such. So, I'm gonna try to get out of this room because one thing I can't stand is that, a blackboard. I'd like to have lots of whiteboard. People who have taught me before, I gotta have lots of whiteboard to be able to do the schematics and then show the three-dimensional multicolor stuff. And it'll be review, a lot of this stuff will be review for you guys. So you might wanna be coaches, you know, for some of these people and be like in-house trainers to help some of these people out. Okay? All right? I mean, you owe me, right? Okay, you guys owe me, right? Right? You owe me, okay? So I need you to help me out. Yes.
So this isn't the one we're doing the project on. This is just,
Now, that's just the one you're gonna present on.
not the project yet, the presentation.
Yeah, that's the presentation.
This one?
Yeah, in the syllabus, it's gonna tell you the chapter and the team. Okay, so if you go,
Yeah, so the other one that went around, that's not the one we're doing now?
the other one, hold up the other one.
Yeah, that's
Show me
the.
the,
I thought it was
that one.
So it's not that one? Or
Yep.
both of them?
It is that one. It's the syllabus.
Oh, it's both of them.
Okay, read the syllabus, you gotta read the syllabus. Totally confused. In the syllabus, it tells you the book, tells you the chapter, tells you the team. Okay? All right? So what we end up doing is we end up distributing the workload, doesn't just become me, you know, boring you to death, you know, every single class, giving you multiple choice exams, you know, and then expecting you to remember everything. That's not how people learn. People learn from other people, they learn from students. It's interesting to watch other people make presentations. People learn when they're in teams, okay? And when you flip the class, okay, you flip the class to make it interactive, there's less failure rates, okay, within the class. I've been doing this long enough to know how the psychology works in these classes. So if you're one of those students who likes to come to class, sit in the back, check a Facebook page and do that kind of stuff and check out, sit in the back and do other stuff, and then just kind of float until it comes, you know, quiz time, and then cram to do the quiz and come in and go up in flames with anything under a B, which basically is flames for me. And then expect me to feel sorry for you, to give you a better grade than an F and a D, to give you a C or a C to a B, to try to skew it up, you know, because I feel sorry for you, it ain't gonna happen. Okay? Ain't gonna work. Okay? Because you're failing yourself and you're failing me. Okay? And I'm more worried about you failing yourself than failing me. So that kind of model, in my view, is dead. Okay? It's a dead teaching model, although it's a very prevalent teaching model. We don't teach like that in the real world. We train people. Okay? We don't teach them, we train them. Okay? And usually the way it works is in academia, this is the way, and I went through the institutions like you did, went to state school half a dozen times. It's usually, especially in the business school, especially in these finance classes and the tough classes, and they usually end up grading based on some kind of bell distribution. Okay? So if you're to the right of the mean, right, you're going to get your, probably your, what do you get in there? A C, something like that. You need a B, and these guys are IBAs. And then you got some people over here, you know, that have family issues or attention issues or learning disabilities, or they're just, you know, they're too preoccupied with other stuff, and they're taking 18 units and working and having to deal with the family and stuff, so they're really having a hard time. They would probably get down into here, and then these people down in here have really some kind of issues that we would have to probably figure out and work on, because you ain't going anywhere with that, okay? And you're not going anywhere with that. And it's going to be hard to get somewhere with that, and you're definitely going somewhere with these two, okay? So these in here, I got no problem with, okay? Now, the C's are really A and B students, so with a little encouragement and some, you know, modifications in the learning, and they get more active, and flipped classroom, I can pull the C's over, you know, into the B and the A category. Okay, And then the D students need a little bit more attention, and that's where the teams come in. Because usually when you're a team, you have some brainers. And working with high-performance individuals usually brings up the whole team and brings up the individual, or the vice versa, okay? So usually the D students, with some coaching and some help, we can get them over into the B and the A category too. And then these people here shouldn't be here, right? Right? They shouldn't be here, okay? Because there's something going on, so they need help. And if you're in that category, you need to tell me, okay? You need to tell me that Professor Souza, you know, I'm a freaking freight train and I'm coming right at you with a blazing light, okay, at 150 miles an hour. Okay, so I'm going to be that. So here's the deal. So these guys aren't an issue. These guys aren't the issue. So it's basically a truncated curve, okay, is the way that I teach. And you guys have been in my class, you know how it is. So I'll do like an initial assessment on you, and then I give you other opportunities to remediate it, improve the quality of your work, to go back and learn the material, to then get the A. Okay? So if you don't do it the first time around, or there's some deficiencies in it, I'll make you go back and redo it, okay, until you get it, until you do it. Because I can't let you progress unless you've learned the material. Usually the way the academics do it is they'll grade you and then move on without you learning the material, which in my view is totally stupid, okay? Because in the real world, you don't move on, okay, until you learn the stuff. And I work with every single individual who wants to work with me, and everybody who works with me does a really great job, okay, because I care. So the curve ends up being like this. My curve is like that, and then skews like that. So here is your B dudes, and then here's your A dudes. So there's no reason why you shouldn't get an A in this class. Okay? All right? And then if there's behavioral issues or other types of issues, then you'll probably get the B plus. Okay? And if you have other issues, I'm going to be all over you. Okay? If you start falling to the other side or slack off, I'll find you. Okay? And I'll find out why. I'm going to push you into that area because I have a reputation in the industry and in these institutions. I'm known as an applied guy who teaches application so that people can get jobs, not just grading to progress you through. I want to find you good jobs. Okay, so this is the way it looks. Is that okay? Is that going to work for you? Anybody got an issue with that, or do you want to go back to the bell curve? Bullshit stuff. Okay, yeah, okay, so we're going to do it that way. All right, so that kind of gives you an idea of my philosophy. And then what I'll do is for the nights of the exams, I will go over, you will present, I will present, and then what I'll do is I'll probably come up with like 10 questions. You know, for like the quiz, you'll come in, you'll work on them, should be fairly easy, and then you're gone, okay? Catch and release. All right? So I didn't do anything for any of the exams. Okay. So it's pretty straightforward. Anybody have an issue with the methodology? Is everybody pretty comfortable using Excel and reading formulas and stuff like that? Anybody have an issue with Excel? No? Okay, awesome. I'll assume you don't, but then you have to speak up. If you speak up, I can help you. If you don't speak up, you get stuck, then I can't help you. Okay? So you need to be vocal and verbal. Don't stop me anytime to ask me. Then for the last night of the class. Okay. So you'll have how many presentations do you have? I think it was what, like 4? 4 or 5 over a 15 minute. 1, 2, 3.
We got 5.
So is that doable? 5 over 15 weeks?
Yeah.
6 over 15 weeks? Plus if you work in teams, it should be pretty easy. Yeah.
Done with 10 of the semester.
Yeah, have you? Do you want me to do
No,
examples?
no,
Okay, okay. I was really go go back to the old way of doing things. So here's an example, you might want to take pictures of this. We didn't do this in our class, we wanted to do this, but it was a different. You guys are obviously highly motivated because you're here. We'll give one per row. I would take pictures of these and swap them and give them to each other. Okay. So take pictures of these. All right. And I've been teaching, and we've been doing these things for about, I would say 5 years now. I'll give some extras. You can hand them back. I'm just going to keep one of them. So what this is, what's this class called again? Real estate valuation. Is it called real estate appraisal? So valuation, and I may talk a little bit later about, what do you value in real estate? Well, we can value the home, okay, but this is a commercial class. I'm going to teach this at the institutional level, because I'm an institutional person. So when we value real estate, I could be valuing an apartment building. Okay? I could be valuing a large office building. Okay? I could be valuing an industrial building down here in Haywood. Oakland has a huge industrial sector. I could be valuing a retail shopping mall or shopping center. I could be valuing a hotel. I could be valuing, office, industrial, retail, apartments, hotels, self-storage. We could do, I could value all kinds of different real estate. Okay? And then those real estate, the valuation of those real estate determine the amount of mortgage, okay, that's going to be put on the real estate, because real estate is huge. A lot of the deals that I've worked on were between $5 and $25 million. And I worked on basically a $250 million portfolio once, where we had to value all the properties in the portfolio for the acquisition. I've done almost $850 million worth of acquisitions and underwriting in my career, which isn't a lot for somebody my age. Other people have done a couple billion. So I could value the properties, value the portfolio, roll those valuations up into a portfolio. I could actually value the mortgages. If I was the bank, the mortgages put on those properties. So I could value the individual mortgages, and I could pool those mortgages and value the mortgage pool. Then what I could do is I could take that mortgage pool and work as the investment banker and basically underwrite an issue of mortgage-backed securities backed by those mortgages, and then value the mortgage-backed security or the portfolio of mortgage-backed securities. So it's all valuation. It's at what layer, what level of the valuation process are you attempting? Okay, are you attempting? And then my specialization, even though I've done a lot of that stuff, my specialization is building real estate indexes. Okay, that basically track the real estate market. And I was even asked at one time, and this will be probably your midterm, is I'll probably come in and do a lecture and you take notes. Right? Spend a little time, and then I'll show you how I built these real estate indexes with Standard & Poor's. Anybody know who Standard & Poor's is? Standard & Poor's S&P 500 index. Been around for like 160 years. I worked with S&P out of New York. And I was the project manager that basically built a series of real estate indexes to be used to trade property derivatives. Do you guys know what property derivatives are? Futures contracts, option contracts, forward contracts. Derivatives were invented in the 1970s, okay, based off of indexes. So if I wanted to buy the S&P 500 index to replicate the index, I'd have to buy a certain percentage of 500 shares, which is a lot of money. Okay, so what happened was, Standard & Poor's said, okay, instead of doing that, why don't we build the S&P 500 index that basically tracks the 500 stocks by proportion within the index, and then if you have an exposure to the index, or you think the index is going to go up or down, You don't have to buy or sell the securities. That's all you have to do is buy the call options if you think they're going to go up, or buy the put options if you think they're going to go down. It's the same thing with the futures
They do the work
contracts.
for you, kind of?
Huh?
More or less, they do the work for you?
Yeah, so,
Investing everything, you just invest in
so
there?
with my team, we built the real estate indexes with S&P and then the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and the investment banks invented the derivative contracts that have the bet on our indexes. Okay? So that's the other level of securities analysis, is indexation and derivatives. Okay? And I'm doing a project right now where I'm basically taking that index methodology, replicating it, and we're going to create another investment vehicle offering, another security. So it's institutional, real estate, capital markets is where I'm trying to train you to be, okay? To try to get you, not become a residential real estate agent, valuing, single-family homes, that's cool too, but I want to get you into, I want to get you into Avalon Bay, which has a huge apartment portfolio here in the Bay Area, particularly in Silicon Valley and on the East Coast. Who's got the other one? Essex Property Company. They're out of Palo Alto. They're George Marcus. They bought my company, DRE Properties, about 5 years ago. They're one of the largest apartment real estate investment trusts. They have a huge portfolio in the Bay Area, Southern California, and on the East Coast. Who's got the other one? Who's got Kilroy? Kilroy was totally aggressive. Kilroy basically moved here from like Tennessee or Atlanta, moved its company to San Francisco, and has been one of the most aggressive acquirers of property in the Bay Area in Southern California. So again, that's an office real estate investment trust. Who's got another? Who's got Prologis? Who's got Prologis? Oh, Boston Properties. Boston Properties is the one who developed Salesforce Tower. The one that just went in, the 1 million square feet with the park that just opened up like 2 weeks ago after freaking 5 years. So Boston Properties did that one with Salesforce. Who's got Prologis? Who's got Prologis? Oh no, sorry, nobody has Prologis because you're doing Prologis. So you're going to do Prologis. That's the one we're going to do. Okay? We're going to value the security. Okay? So we're going to become equity analysts. We're going to be stock analysts. And we are going to value the shares of a real large publicly traded real estate company. And we're going to make a recommendation to either buy, hold, or sell. And if we have a buy recommendation, not only could we buy the shares, but we can buy them on margin, we can buy call options, and we can write put options on them. So as my recommendation as a REIT analyst to my clients or myself, my recommendation based on our research is to buy it on margin, buy the call options, write the put options. I think if I have a sell recommendation, I'm probably going to sell it. I'm going to sell short. I'm going to buy the puts, or I'm going to write the calls. Okay? So I'm also going to train you in securities. Because now real estate and securities, real estate and finance have basically converged. Okay? And if you know both, you can go both sides. Real estate, or you can go securities, or banking, or private equity, or public equity. You can go all of them. And if you're really into the securities analysis, I would highly recommend getting the Certified Financial Analyst, CFA, designation, 3 years to do that. And then if you're really, really super interested in this stuff and you really want to go on, then my recommendation is go work in a real estate company, get your real estate license, go work in a real estate company as an investment broker, or go work as an analyst somewhere, work your butt off for at least 4 to 5 years, and then go do a master's in real estate development at MIT, or USC, or at Columbia.
Is that how many years they were?
You usually need like 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
Or if you're really good and you've got a good GPA and you ace the GMAT
Yeah.
and stuff, and you get 7 to 10 years of experience, you go to Haas, you go to Berkeley, and you do the executive MBA with a concentration in real estate.
Yeah.
It'll cost like 150 grand, but it's totally worth it.
What about Wisconsin?
Wisconsin's really good with the grass camp, of course.
Yeah.
Wisconsin's really good too. NYU's good. Georgetown now has a really good program, and Booth has a pretty good program. Not a really good program, but my buddy's heading up in Joe Pagliari. So if you're interested in laying out those types of trajectories and those types of strategic plans, I can totally coach you and I can help you with that stuff. Okay? Because you got to be really thinking out 10 years. You really do at this point. It'll make everything so much easier if you do. Okay? So, you guys took my, can I take one of these back? I was just going to go through this real quick. So this is what we're going to do at the end. Okay? So it's professionally bound. I reviewed all of these things. Okay? Clear cover, black back, black wire spiral. Okay? This is exactly how the binding is done. And then this is your final after I've reviewed it and stuff. It's usually in color. You got the REIT, you got the intrinsic value and the current stock price, you got the recommendation, you got the team, and then the company. And you got your outline. This is a typical presentation. The background on the company. You got the key leaders in the company. As you can see, where these guys come from. There's a lot of guys here. Hopefully we can get more women onto these leadership teams. Then you got the organizational structure of the firm. You got the products and services. You got the SWOT analysis. This all starting to look familiar to you. Yeah, this is your capstone course.
Yeah.
This is your capstone focused on real estate. Okay, so it's exactly the same stuff. So here's your industry overview and your ranking against your direct competitors. You've got culture, industry, your financial ratio analysis. With the peer group, you're going to calculate the weighted average of the peer to get the peer group ratios, you're going to get the industry, and then you're going to compare Avalon Bay to Essex, UDR against the peer group, and then you're going to give it a financial condition, and then you're going to give it an overall financial position, financial condition. This is the fundamental analysis that needs to be conducted before you do a intrinsic valuation. So you got to do the accounting first. And you got 2 pages of financial ratios, performance, leverage, those things. Then technical securities analysis. Okay, I'm a technical securities guy. Okay, I like to see at least 3 to 5 years of technical data to be able to identify the supports, resistance, trading ranges, breakouts, trends, what's going on. What? Patterns, RSI, MACD, all that stuff. Okay, I'll show you. Yeah, absolutely. And then here you have the first valuation, okay, the perpetuity model. I'll walk you through this stuff, which is basically the funds from operations per share divided by some expected return sensitivity. Okay, thank you. So that's the perpetuity model. And then the Gordon growth model, which is the projected FFO per share divided by the expected return minus the growth rate. Again, you all should have been exposed to some of this stuff. If not, it'll be reinforcement. Okay, so then we do Gordon growth. The next is the FFO multiple approach, or the PE multiple approach, price to earnings multiple, but we're going to use FFO because that's the cash flow per share that you use to value these securities. So we'll do the FFO multiple analysis. We'll look at the peer group. Actually, there's no peer group on this one. Actually, they have this. This is lame. Which you have the different multiple scenarios to come up with the valuations. And then you have your discounted cash flow model. Excuse me. And then you have to do a net asset value, which is basically the net operating income for all of the properties divided by some cap rate divided by the shares outstanding is going to give you basically the value of the real estate per share. And you're going to compare that to the current stock price. Then on the next one, what we do is we basically take the valuation methods, the intrinsic values, we basically weight them to come up with a scenario, 3 different scenarios of the valuation, and then we probably pick the scenario that we think is the best. Will be in the middle, and then we compare that to the current stock price. And as you can see, our valuation had a premium of 5.3%. So our value that we came up with was 5.3% higher than the current stock price, therefore we recommend buying it. Okay. But not only do we recommend buying it, but we also recommend buying the calls, writing the puts, buying the futures contracts based on the REIT indexes, buying the forward contracts on the REIT. So we did the derivative trades too. So that when you, as the security analyst and the portfolio manager, or the investment banker, or the investment advisor, put this together to show a client, basically this is the research that we did, and our recommendation is you should buy this, or you should increase the allocation to this company. Or I represent, this is Avalon Bay, I'm saying, hey, you guys, let's say we did Essex, okay? I would say Avalon Bay, we should buy Essex, because we think the value of their security is going to go up over the next 2 to 3 years, and we should take them out now in either a hostile or or a takeover scenario, buy them, do a merger, do an M&A. That's the one thing we don't do in this class. We don't do M&As. Okay. So how are we doing so far?
Wait, it's M&A.
Mergers and acquisitions. So the valuation scenario can not only be used to value the security for investment decision-making purposes and portfolio allocation purposes, but the valuation process is also used in mergers and acquisitions. Because if I'm a big company and I want to buy a small publicly traded company, I need to value that company and figure out how much we might have to pay. And if I can pay less than what we think it's worth, we're going to make an offer. We're going to take it up. Yes, sir.
So couldn't you essentially apply like what you're going to do with like any other company that's?
Yes. If you Google, although tech companies are a little bit harder, but established companies that are generating solid earnings and earnings per share and it has a history, yes, it's the same thing. And REITs are easier to value than tech companies because tech companies in most cases don't pay dividends. They have to pay dividends. And the asset is not some intellectual property based on some licensing, some technology, or selling into the consumer market. It's basically a hard asset generating rent under long-term rent contracts. So it's different. Solid. It is the same thing. All right. So why don't we take a little break? See if he comes back. And then what I'll do is I'll go through some of the websites, and then I'll walk you through the statistical pretest, and we'll talk about deliverables, for the 2-3 weeks. Okay. All right. Well, so let's take like a 10-minute break, and we'll get out of here early too. Because I talk so fast, I can get through a 3-hour presentation in basically an hour.
That's great. That's great. You just keep it like that.
Yeah, so you guys can take pictures,
I'm actually getting 800.
okay, I'll still record this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then maybe you're all set with your teammates and everything?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool.